Hey there, this is Malorian, and we're back doing another Paintisode. We're also doing this one live, so I am going to be watching for comments. I only left this on for a little bit here, so I mean, I'm not really seeing anything yet, of course. But if you do have any questions, post it up. What we're going to be painting today is I got Stuffle. This is the first time I tried doing a Paintisode here at this little table, so we'll see if it works. But I'm going to be doing some War Machine models. That's from Signar. Basically, the regular little Jack guy, the little robot, is the Lancer, and I'm going to be painting the little kind of like upgraded character version, Thorn, because I'm going to be doing more Haley and Epic Haley and fun stuff like that. But I'm going to make sure to not be talking too much about War Machine because I know you guys are mainly here for the fantasy. This is also coming to you from a live audience. I got Mrs. Malorian over here too, so she'll be throwing me off my game and distracting me the whole time.
I'm not doing pole dancing.
Well, doing weird stuff. What are you working on today, Mrs. Malorian?
Inking.
Inking?
Yeah, putting ink on paper.
Ooh.
Doing scrappy scraps.
Ooh. Sounds fun. Is that like preparing for a tournament? Fully painted? Need to get all your inks? No?
Shut man.
So, what does inking mean? I warned you. You're part of the show.
Bro, I told you I wasn't participating.
You already are in half.
Oh.
You're officially part of this Paintisode, and people want to know about your inking.
All I'm doing is using. Here, show them.
I can't show them because I'm busy painting.
Well, too bad then. No visuals.
Assume it's really low quality. She basically has these little dabbers. They're like bingo dabbers, and she like hits it on a page, and then. How's your channel doing?
Fuck you!
You're on like 5,000 subscribers now. You said, right? I think it's doing well. It's doing well.
Suck it, Malorian. Why are you so mean to me?
Why are you so rude to me? I thought we were at least common law by now, or something.
Common something. You more common than I.
We're held together by our common hatred of each other. See, isn't this fun?
No.
Just like if you were painting too.
Oh, shush.
So yeah, we'll be talking about a couple of different things. I think the first thing I'm going to talk about is I've decided I'm going to be parting with a couple armies. I do have way too many, and one of the rules I kind of had is if you can't play something at least once a year, it's probably time to let it go. And I have a couple of armies that are getting like that, so I'm going to let a couple of them go. One of them is fairly large, the other one used to be my main one, and so really what it comes down to is I decided to let go of my Lizardmen. It's a fairly large army, but it's, again, something I just don't normally play. And I think the reason why it doesn't really come up is just the fact that I have so many, not really similar options, but many other options in Orcs and Goblins, so that if I want to do a monster mash or whatever, with like Saurus Heavy or anything, a lot of times it just seems there's a lot of stuff in Orcs and Goblins I can kind of do. And sure, I don't have salamanders and stuff like that, but I have all the war machines. And again, it's just in the current meta, it just always kills me where I want to play Lizardmen, and then I ask how would I deal with the Demon Prince, and there is no answer there. So I've kind of decided that I am going to let the Lizardmen go. It is a fairly large army, though, like 5,000 points, so I'm going to have to break that thing up to eventually get it out. But I do say I see one viewer. I'm trying to test out this little thing here, so if you want to comment, that'd be great. But so that's the first one I'm going to be letting go. The second army I'm going to be letting go is my vampire counts. And this was kind of a really hard decision to make because I really like my vampire accounts. They're an army I played exclusively for quite a while. I really liked them, the way they played. I mean, back when I was a really hard-set power gamer, they're the army that would be my go-to army and all this, right? But the problem is that as soon as it came to the new book, all of a sudden I don't have all the good options, right? I don't have the Hex Race, I don't have the Terror Geist, I don't have any Cryptors. And sure, there's a simple answer if I could just go out and buy them, but the problem is that, like we already discussed, I have lots of armies, and I kind of have to decide, right, where am I going to be spending that money? And especially now that I've moved back home and my income is kind of cut in half, I just have to kind of realize that I'm never going to be able to upkeep all these armies at an even semi-competitive level. I mean, because really, my army was set up to be good the way it used to be, where I have tons and tons of ghouls, and I have some Karn race, and then lots of casters. Because before, you would just raise up lots and lots of undead, and if they ever killed anything, you would just raise it right back up. So that doesn't really work anymore, and yeah, I'm just not willing to upgrade it. So they're going to go to, I haven't even really posted them yet or anything, but I don't know if they'll even be that easy to sell, because a lot of people aren't really after that type of stuff. I mean, a lot of times for Core 2, some people are going for skeletons, so ghouls might not even be their thing. And if they do, they only take what they need for their core. And with ghouls being more expensive now, you don't even need to have as many ghouls as you used to. So I probably have enough ghouls for 2 to 3 people. So it's probably going to take me a little while to find the people to actually buy this stuff up. I kind of wonder too if I should do like a final battle with them before they go, but it's again almost not really worth it. I would pretty much have to rely very heavily on just being like a blender lord, really having a lot of the ethereal stuff to lean on. Otherwise, yeah, it just will not do well whatsoever. So very unfortunate. Some of it is even new in box. I mean, it was kind of sad. I even did spend some money so that I could finally have like a horde of the Grave Guard and stuff like that. But again, I think the big thing there that would lose my inspiration to complete it is I'd look at it and say, well, okay, sure, yeah, a horde of Grave Guard's nice. And then I would just look over at my Orcs and Goblins and say, hey, if I'm going to try and win this through infantry, elite infantry, why am I not doing this with my Orcs and Goblins and taking my Biggins or my Black Orcs or whatever, right? So unfortunately, that whole comparison between two of my armies, of course, left one the victor, and vampire counts kind of left behind. Do you even remember what my vampire counts look like?
Vampires who count?
Very close, very close. Do you, do you really remember, like, if you were to think of one of my armies, what really comes to your mind?
Tyranids. No, wait.
Wait.
First one. The one with all the robots and the giant cube thing.
Necrons. Did you like them? Were you your favorite?
No, they were just everywhere. That was the first army that took over our home.
Yeah.
They invaded my living room. I had a friggin' ping pong table in the middle of our tiny 500 square foot apartment.
So if I had one army that you decided that, oh, that's a pretty cool army, I like the look of it, what would that army be?
It would be made up of scrapbooking supplies.
Lame. Come on.
Maybe stickers?
There is no sticker army.
Well, then I guess I wouldn't pick anything.
Nothing. There's no army I played that you saw when I like the look of them. I'm not saying you're like, I want to start playing with them. I'm just saying you like the look of them. Is that so hard to admit? Yeah.
No, there's never really been an army that I liked the look of, but there've been a lot of armies where I'm like, do I really want my 2-year-olds to see that?
Of course you do.
No. There have been sometimes when kids are having nightmares and they're like, oh yeah, we had this nightmare. Okay, what was it about? Daddy's guys.
We're still trying to make sure. Again, I got 6 viewers here now, so if one of you guys want to put in a comment, the thing has like a 10-minute lapse or lag, so it'll be a while for it to be up here, but it'd be nice if, I mean, with me being able to do these live now, I can actually be talking about what you guys want to hear about. So if you are a Lizardman player, I can talk about Lizardman. If you're a Dark Elf player, I can talk about Dark Elves. Whatever you're kind of after.
If you're a scrapbooker, we can talk about
There are no scrapbookers out there. God, if you thought that GW games were expensive, do not get into scrapbooking. Ever. Never once did we ever have it so that the manager of a GW had to help me carry out boxes of things. Yeah. It's all like paper and stuff. I mean, people complain about GW. It's like, oh, I can't believe I'm paying so much for plastic and metal. At least it's not paper and stickers. What's with that?
Tools.
Defend yourself.
You spend lots of money on tools and paint and crap.
What tools?
Your stupid paintbrushes are expensive, and your paint is expensive, and your glue.
I don't think mine is any more expensive than yours.
No, I didn't say that. I just said it was expensive too.
So, anyway, I still have the campaign that's going on right now. We rolled up our next type of matches that's going on, and it turns out that before I even get to go in this next matchup here, I've already been hit by some bad luck. So whereas in the first round of the campaign, my random thing was just like, oh, in your game you get 25% more points. In this one here, one of my guys got captured. So Whelpsley, the leader of my Night Goblin army, he is now captured. And that's kind of bad news. In a way, it doesn't really matter because I still get to use the army and stuff. But I believe if they end the game still holding him, they get a relic, which is really like a campaign point. And as well, the biggest thing is that I won't have him to get upgrades. So let's say I have a Night Goblin army that's not led by him, and I win, and I earn myself extra magic items or stat boosts or something. I just don't get that. So it'd be really nice for me to find some way to get him back, but the player that got him, he knows I'm after him, and he took that army and just booked it across the map. So it's going to be fairly difficult for me to do that now. So, unfortunate. I still have the other armies. I have a game coming up here that will be part of that campaign, and it's going to be up against a Lizardman player, which is convenient because that's who we're supposed to be facing next for the Around the World in 12 games. And the unfortunate thing is that given my armies, the Night Goblin army really is the one that I'd like to face him with, because then I can stay nice and defensive. A lot of the stuff there for the Lizardmen don't like the war machines or the fanatics. I mean, sure, you can go and take your skinks, you can hide here, hide wherever you want, but my Doom Divers can always find you, and your Temple Guard can try their best to guard the Slan, but if I'm cranking you again with Spear Chuckas and Doom Divers, it won't be long before I can just put a rock on the Slan's head, and good things happen for the Orcs, not so much for the Lizardmen. However, like I said, if I go and use my Night Goblin army now, I just can't get any benefits, so that kind of sucks. Plus, I think I'd like to use one of my other armies too, just because, you know, spread the wealth. And so let's look at the different styles of armies that I'm going to be using here. I mean, that's one of the things too. Going into this campaign, I'm not strictly going into this campaign trying to win it, right? To me, this campaign, the best thing that's going to be bringing me is just the opportunity to have games every couple of weeks at least, right? So that's really good. And at the same time, yeah, I mean, one of my other armies, so the one there is the Night Goblin army, which I already did the one bell report for. And I also got like 2 downvotes. I don't know why I got 2 downvotes for that. But the other army is I have the Mulik one, which is the Savage Orc, which is going to be running a bunch of monsters. And we're talking like running, he'll be like a level 2, and I'll still have like 2 Wyvern Lords and the Rock and Giants and stuff. So that one will be fun, but again, probably not good against Lizardmen. And then the other one is Merica, which is pretty much like a Black Orc, and he'll be all about taking powerful upfront infantry units and stuff like that. So kind of like what I'd normally take, except I wouldn't have the backing of war machines and all those good goblin-y things, which are more in my Night Goblin army. So really trying to keep the armies different, and I'm sure I'm going to pay the price for that, because I'm sure all the other guys, they're just making their list as they need them, and me, kind of giving myself a bit of a handicap. I do have a couple of comments here. Oh, come on. Falconer Bit says, scrapbooks, woo woo. Malorian, you still main Orcs and Goblins? Yeah, they're still my main army. I have a bunch of the stuff lying around, like 10,000 points. Yeah, that's, well, I'm thinking around like 14,000 points Orcs right now. Let me know if you want anything. Ooh, and testing comment lag. It's now about 13 minutes into the podcast. So yeah, it took some time to get this one up here. Otherwise, I have another one here from Colin Goody saying, what would you want to see in a new Orc and Goblin book to adjust internal balance? That's always one that gets asked, and you know, if nothing else, one of the things I'd like to see is change, because right now I believe we actually have fairly good internal balance in the Orc and Goblin book. However, you almost need to change that balance, because I've commented on this before, where it almost gets a little bit boring to make lists. Because unlike, I mean, let's say in the campaign, I am going out of my way to make lists which are very different. Normally, that's just not the case. I go in and I take the usual good stuff. And so I guess there can be a comment made for how are you going to bring other things into line. And it really is difficult to do it overall, because really, whatever shift you make, something is probably going to come out as being the next best thing. It's almost like comp, right? It's the same thing happens when you change a book. And the funny thing is, I mean, it is a lot better than it used to be, where normally if I looked at a book, it'd be like, yeah, this is the best thing to take, and this is what all the tournament guys are going to be taking. And now there's a good spread of things you're going to be seeing. Some of the changes I would like seeing in the Orc and Goblin book is a little bit change again to the WA, really more so just in terms of how it works on your WA turn. I'm fine with Animosity going crazy and screwing you over. I mean, that's kind of what it's supposed to do. But I'd like to see the WA turn bring back some of the older stuff as well, where, you know, dependent on your ranks, you'd be getting bonuses to the roll, and better chance that you'll be then getting that a 6th, basically, and you'll get to move farther up. So that would be really nice to see. What are they going to do to fix Boar Boys? And it's, yeah, man, Boar Boys are such a nice model, but they're just missing it when it comes to it. I mean, what do you give them? Vanguard? I don't know. They're just one of those things where they're the heavy cav, but they have a 4+ armor, and you know, they suffer from, if you're going with the savage ones, dealing with frenzy, and I mean, they're not 1+ save, right? They're not like Empire, they're not like that. So man, that is kind of hard of what you're going to try and do to actually balance this in the end. Oh, it looks like I screwed this up. Oh well, this one's a character, it can be a little bit different. I want to see some more units. I mean, I think overall, instead of balancing what we have and trying some way to find snotlings to work and all the rest of it, I just want to see other units and more viable ways to play, you know. And the problem with this too is that the Orc and Goblin book will be after Ninth comes out, so it really depends on what changes they make to Ninth and all the rest of it. So really, until we see that, it's really hard to say what we'll want to see in changes in the book. One of the things it could probably do with the Begin upgrade is before it was 4 points and nobody took it. Now it's 2 points per model, and it's a dead, automatic. Everybody does it. I suppose Biggins should be a 3-point upgrade. That seems to be the right point cost given what's happened so far historically. So, I mean, that's the number one automatic one everybody takes, right? As always, you see the Savage Orc Biggins. Past that, though, you really do see a lot of different stuff, right? Some people like Black Orcs, some people like Squigs, some people like Trolls. So that's all really good. And I don't think you need to balance that anymore. Another thing is war machines, right? You always see war machines all over the place, but I think that has less to do with bad internal balance as opposed to just being in a current game state where you just need war machines if you're going to survive, right? With all the big monsters and nasty things out there with 1+ saves and all the rest of it, if you just don't have war machines, you just cannot compete. Oh, Groosh Monkeys. This is my brother. Sup, Dickweed. Are you checking your comments? Why, yes, I am. Borg9, a.k.a. whatever. Groosh Monkey, a.k.a. Senior Card Gauge. Whatever you're going to be calling yourself now. God. You guys should go and, go to Borg9 or whatever and say to him, like, why aren't you playing your Skaven? You got this massive, massive army. Why don't you just play it?
He's 2 yiddles.
He is 2 yiddles. At least he didn't go back to 40k. That's the main thing. I mean, it's a shame that he didn't hold and stay with fantasy, but at least he didn't go to 40k. Some more questions here. We have another one here from Faulkner Bits saying, real heavy cav, Black Orc Boar Boys. Yes, please. Yeah, I go all for having the new boars and having Black Orcs. I mean, then we can actually have a real 2+ save, or maybe even a 1+ save, right? Could be something special there. I mean, seeing as how it's everywhere else, I can't really see why they could really keep it away. Your thoughts on making 2 Mangler Squigs out of the ridiculously expensive kit? How would you make it fair for line of sight competitive play so people don't complain? Let's do the first one, which is the Manglers, and I think that's just a dead automatic thing you have to do. For those who don't know, for a long time, Mangler Squigs had no model whatsoever, and then they finally come out with a model, and it's super expensive, and it's also one of these things where it looks very odd, where it's supposed to be these 2 Squigs kind of going around, they're chained together, and what they do is 2 very large Squigs, one above the other. And right away, what everybody does is just cuts it at the foot for the one and makes it so you have 2 separate ones. And really, I see nothing against it. Almost everybody I know does that, and it's just financially the smart thing to do. As far as line of sight goes, they really have to go back. Oh man, things are getting a little bit laggy here. But they really have to go back to the whole idea where things have sizes. I do not like the true line of sight. I like saying that models you just cannot see through. You can even say levels, right? Like say, okay, some first level might be regular models, and then you have large creatures, and then you could have terrain. But it really makes it a lot more clear-cut than the current true line of sight. And I understand that they did that to kind of allow for all these different terrains and things like this. But then, of course, you get all the people who are, oh, I'll just convert my guy so he's crawling. And, I mean, you're going for advantages, going for one model over the other because one's up on a flying base and one's low down, right? It's just, that's not the way it should really be, right? you get the advantage for being the terrorgeist because you're hunched over and your wings up, but that's not really part of your real like core part of your body. So it's just it's just a really weird spot they're in right now, and if they just change it to straight up, you just can't see through things. That I just think that's the better way to go. And I mean, it worked well before. I mean, whenever somebody wanted to shoot something, you could just do your little laser pointer if you really want to get super accurate. And hey, did it go through that unit? Okay, you can't see, right? It's just so much more straightforward. So that's what I'd really like to see it going back to in ninth. All of a sudden, you'd have to worry about things like Demon Princes. I mean, right now, it's like, oh, okay, the Demon Prince is behind trolls. I'm going to have to hope my cannon can find its way through. Whereas if they did this, it'd be like, well, I can't even shoot them. Then again, you get to be just like how it used to be, where, oh, okay, I can't see your Demon Prince hiding behind there, but I can still shoot the trolls anyway, and it's going to bounce there. That's what they used to really call the cannon sniping, where you'd be kind of going for one target, but it's not really your true target. Like maybe you might have your Demon Prince could be like 20 inches behind your the trolls, for example, and you say, oh, I'm going to be shooting at the trolls, and then you have this like ridiculously bad estimation because you're truly actually going for the Demon Prince, which is behind them. So it was kind of a silly, weird thing, but again, I just found that it worked a lot better than what we have now. And I really don't know what they're going to go to in the new book. They have a lot of different ways they could take it, and I just hope they just don't do some huge, huge mistake. So far, the painting's going well. We're not too far into this. Pretty sure I'll be able to finish this one model over the course of this year. That's the one nice thing about painting these robots is that they're fairly straightforward and easy. It's almost kind of like when I'm painting the trolls, when I had all those trolls to paint. They're just straight up, like almost just green everywhere. Few little details done. That'd be one thing I'd be interested to see how they're going to be handling. Like, how do you make stone trolls better so that people are taking stone trolls again? They've always been like the rare troll that nobody really takes. Before, they were just too expensive, so it really didn't matter what ability they had. And now it's just, even though they brought down the points, it's just, the rules just aren't worth it, especially compared to river trolls, right? Compare them to river trolls. You take those river trolls every single time. So there was one other thing I wanted to talk about before I get any more comments here, and this is actually about OnceBitten. So, he's like the grandfather of the YouTube, basically, one of the first like pioneers, if you want to put it like that, one of the first people here. And one of the things I was going to talk about here is about how he hasn't done any videos for a bit, even though he's just went to a tournament. He went to a tournament, had 8 games, and he actually wrote that he just does not have the inspiration to make the battle reports. So, I mean, if you ever want to check this stuff out, he actually has his own Facebook group that's just called OnceBitten 360. So you should probably go there and join anyway, just to see what he's up to. But it was interesting there, seeing, I mean, what was one thing taking up his time, and it looks like playing with his kids, he's actually getting into Pokemon now. So that was kind of unexpected. So one of the big things I'd like to see is for him being pulled back to fantasy, and especially going to something like Pokemon. That's something he probably shouldn't be doing. So, I mean, go to his site, go to either his Facebook or go to his actual like channel and say, OnceBitten, bring on the reports. No more Pokemon. I realize you have younger kids, but come on, you're a fantasy guy. So that's my big shout out for the day. We got to pull in our brother back into the fold. But we have another question here. That's the one thing that's kind of a problem with me doing reading while I'm trying to paint. It's one thing for me to talk for an hour while I paint, but you know, look up throws me off my groove. All right, Marcus Needstrom says, "Greeting, fellow winter warrior around the globe. Sweden here. Woohoo! Something to listen to while having the morning coffee for work. Holy morning there. We're like, sun's gonna be going down here. But thanks, and sadly no painting, but we can always revisit what I have missed so far." Yeah, I mean, again, I totally forgot to do my whole intro with this, but again, I mean, the whole point for when I do these Paintisodes is it's just supposed to be something where no need to watch me because I'm not doing anything that entertaining visually, but just, you know, pull out your paints, and hopefully from these, you know, I can look back after doing several of these and say, hey, there's probably a ton more models out there that are painted because of these Paintisodes. And, you know, the same goes for me too, right? Whenever I do these Paintisodes, you can be sure I'm going to be here painting stuff. So it's good to have that locked down. Actually, Borgnine, Groosh Monkey, I had him invited out the last time, but he turned it down, which is odd because he does have a lot of stuff to paint, but he's on kind of a thing where he can only do one hobby type thing a week. I'm kind of really lucky in that my Mrs. Malorian here, I get away with sometimes like 3-4 hobby days a week. Although it's not too bad, right? Like, this shouldn't count. You're doing your thing. I'm doing my thing. I mean, really, while you're doing your stamping, am I supposed to be just like waiting for you like a little puppy at the door? So whether I'm doing hobby or not, right? What's the difference?
Whether you're hobbying or being my butler.
Exactly. I mean, I did the dishes regardless. I should be able to do this.
And the laundry.
And the laundry.
What kind of housewife do you have?
I am like the perfect house husband. Would you ever rent me out?
No.
To other families?
Then you'd be too tired to service me.
True. And gross.
Sorry you feel that way. I'll get to upstairs.
Huh. She's old.
Oh!
But yeah, so I do have some tournaments coming up, but they are still just War Machine stuff. I know you guys are hoping that I can be getting to the fantasy tournaments again, and that would be nice. Unfortunately, there's the one that is coming up, which is Warhammered, one of my favorite events. Unfortunately, I was not able to sign up for. They have a massive waiting list. You know, it's one of those things where even after when I found out that I could probably actually go, because I actually got back here, they have a waiting list of like 20 people, and so it just wasn't going to happen. And the TO, the guy who's running it, I'm sure if I really went up to him and said, hey, buddy, how about hooking me up? He probably would, but I don't want to do that, right? Because it's just going to be bringing up anger, and it just isn't fair, right, for me to ask that of him. So I'll just wait for Warhammer next year, and won't be too bad.
And your wife said you've done enough tournaments per month?
What? Well, I think this is, yeah. Well, if I was going to Warhammer, I wouldn't have been doing these other War Machine ones. Huh.
You say that. The calendar says different.
The calendar doesn't speak. You are inaccurate, madam.
Uh-huh.
You're drinking? Speaking about that, I needed Mrs. Malorian's help here just the other day. One of the things I had waiting for me that I was really putting off because I didn't want to go for it was I always had this bottle of scotch so that when I came home, that's how I was going to celebrate. I was going to celebrate by having this scotch, and it was going to be good times. But then I had this incident where it turns out the smell of scotch really brings back bad memories. And so when it came to just finishing off this bottle of it, I just could not do it. So luckily the team came together, and Mrs. Malorian had more than her fair share.
Gosh.
and save the day. Hey, is that really that bad of a deal? I do your dishes and laundry, and you drink my scotch? Boy, you have it rough. So, yeah, so there's that. Still haven't seen any other comments here for a little bit, but I also have another. As part of me selling my lizardmen, I mean, if somebody's going to come over for us to do this deal, a lot of times I like trying to schedule a game at the same time because why not, right? They're here, and so with that, somebody's going to be coming to be buying some at Lizardmen, and this will be on Wednesday. We're going to do a 2,500 point game. And I'm looking forward in that one because I'm getting my orcs through the campaign and actually breaking out the high elves again. Ever since I was there at Brawler Bash and did that kind of proxy game with OnceBitten, I've been really wanting to come back and do that list again. That's the one that has the dragons and the frost phoenixes and the griffin and just raw monsters flying around doing their thing. So really looking forward to playing that game. No idea whatsoever what he'll be playing. I mean, as far as I know, he takes cannons as far as the eye can see, and it's just going to be a disaster. But, you know, either way, I'm pulling them out and should be interesting. Something else I still have to do is I still haven't tried out the new Wood Elves. Man, I got to do that. Should I do that instead? I could. How about that? I mean, I always like, here's one of the things you guys can write down in the comments. I always like hearing what you guys are painting, but how about we put this as a vote for you guys? You know, what would you rather see? The monster high elves or my my run around shooty wood elves using the new book? So do your votes, put it down in the comments, and we'll go with that. We'll do what the people want. Seems fair, right?
All the people.
All the people.
You should ask on your channel so you have an actual panel, not 6 people.
Well, this is what they get. You know, they go when they're watching the Paintisode, they get these bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you guys are watching here, you can always put up things you want me to talk about as well. Again, make sure you go over to OnceBitten's channel. Give him heck for playing Pokemon. Tell him to do more fantasy reports.
Is it only me who knows you're full of shit? He doesn't have little kids.
Well, define little.
They're teenagers.
Mm.
They don't play Pokemon.
You don't know that.
It's your son playing Pokemon.
No.
Just today.
Well, okay. That doesn't really count as playing. Turning on the game and getting frustrated because you don't know what you're doing doesn't count as playing the game.
Yes, but they planted a seed in your weak, feeble mind.
Yeah. So anyway, for those actually wondering what the real deal is going on is on his Facebook there, he was just writing that he came back, did his 8 games from the Southern Assault, and really just did not have the inspiration to make the battle reports, and so a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, come on, OnceBitten, we want to see the reports and all this stuff." Oh, my black is dead. That is bad news. Do you have any black ink?
No.
I'm just gonna take this big old dabber. I was gonna be like,
That's green, buddy.
close as I can get. This is bad news. But anyway, my response to him is, hey, you get out those reports or else I'm going to be spreading vicious rumors that you play Pokemon now. So hopefully by the time that I first said it and now, you've already gone, you've made the comments on their channel. And it's too late. You can't undo the internet. It's out there.
Wives ruin everything.
Yeah, way to go. Actually, you probably saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
Probably if this happened, he'd like hunt me down, put a hit out on me. One day, just come home and I'm just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever think that OnceBitten was to blame?
No.
And that's why he's the Godfather. He just makes people disappear. You don't mess with him. That's what really happened to some of the other YouTubers. T.M. Richards, pissed off, OnceBitten. Gone forever. So watch it. Scrapbooking lady. Of whom is still banning me from her channel.
You blame me?
Yes. Who else would I blame?
You're skewing all of my stats. You're having all these Warhammer people go to my site, so they watch like 2 seconds of a clip, and it totally
Well, apparently this
stats.
guy Falconer Blitz does like your stuff, and now he knows how mean you're being.
He's allowed to like my stuff if he watches the whole video.
Nobody watches the whole video. They don't even watch all of my video.
Do you blame them?
I'm surprised people are still watching this one. Oh, we got some stuff here. We got Groosh Monkey saying, do Wood Elves because they aren't as whack. We have Colin Goody saying +1 for the Wood Elves as well. And you have to use... No, I am not going to use Wild Riders for 2 reasons. 1, pride. And 2, I don't even own any, so I couldn't do it if I wanted to. I mean, I guess I could proxy them, but no. I will not be playing Wild Riders. Maybe we'll put it up to the wife here and get her tactical insight. So let's say, for instance, that you had these models that could be combat monsters, and they're on horses and they're charging forward. What type of image do you have in your head for such a powerful unit?
I don't know.
Possibly something like a heavily armored knight? Or a big, strong, tough orc? Or anything like that?
Those pig things that you have somewhere in your army.
Okay, but something big and beefy and strong.
Yeah, those 2 boar pig thingies with the...
Now let me stop you there. And let's say instead you had these little tiny girly elves with no armor.
It depends. Can you say something nice about scrapbooking?
No, not
Okay,
going to happen.
then the girly ones with no armor.
Oh, I hate these things so much, and people love them. Shoot them down, you know? If it's knights, I mean, that's why these things are coming at you with armor. So if you want to shoot them down with arrows, like bling, 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 or if it's an orc, you know, he's big and tough. So like, arrow on my shoulder, don't care. And then these little naked elves, dead.
Sounds fun.
Cha-ching, points in the bank.
Good. Everyone out there, please slaughter Mr. Malorian.
They can't. I have too many trolls. How many trolls do you think I have?
You are a troll.
I am.
When you go on the computer, you're trolling someone.
like OnceBitten.
Yes. Or your wife. Or every other family member that exists.
You know what OnceBitten looks like, right? And stuff. Have you seen him?
Yes.
What would you say is his favorite Pokemon?
I don't even know Pokemon. What are you talking
Oh, yeah. You don't know Pokemon.
That fire dragon thingy.
Which one?
Or like the... What do you mean which one? I don't know.
Which one?
The fox one. One looks like a fox.
Oh, what was that one even called? Flame Tail, I don't know.
Firefox. I don't know.
Something. That's another thing you guys can write in there. What do you guys, if OnceBitten was playing Pokemon, what do you think would be the OnceBitten Pokemon?
Some kind of fuzzy bunny, maybe.
Fuzzy Bunny? Oh, stupid like Being like the stupidest internet. I had that too. I was listening to this in the kitchen, and then I decided to microwave the water. Kills the internet.
Yep.
Does anybody else have that where microwaves just kill your internet? It doesn't seem like that should be a thing.
My dad says you should take the modem out of the microwave.
Your father's insane.
My father is awesome.
Does he play Pokemon?
No.
then no. So, otherwise, yeah. So it looks like we'll have to see how many other votes we get before the actual game and stuff. But yeah, it could be Wood Elves, and definitely with that. I mean, like I said, not going to be playing Wild Riders, but looking forward to doing stuff like the Waystalkers, running around. I got tons and tons of the Glade Riders, so a bunch of them with the True Flight arrows. Oh, it's so hot in here. We've got to open these doors. But yeah, you know, I could do that. Especially because, I mean, I do really, really like the High Elf army and how mobile it is, but, you know, you can do that with the Wood Elves too. The nice thing about the High Elf one, though, is at least you have the strength of the dragons. Oh, man. This is Malorian. Could you open the front door? I'm melting. I don't think any of the viewers want to see me take my shirt off. 0% of the viewers. They just saw you. You took the wrong way around.
I can't fit the other way.
Of course you can fit the other way.
The table was moved. It don't fit anymore.
Now they're not going to be able to stalk you. I'm going to come home one day and all your scrapbooking and you will just be gone. Your dream come true. But yeah, so the Wood Elves seem interesting, but I mean, they're also probably going to be played the way that I used to play them. It would have been kind of probably more interesting if they would have been changed enough that I would say, hey, my list doesn't work. I really got to change my list. But then again, I guess that would be just like the my complaint for the vampire counts, where that would just mean, well, I guess I'm not going to play them anymore because if I like, let's say for example, the new Wood Elf book really forced you to go to having all the big trees and stuff like that, right? Going to more of a forest army and going for monsters and all the rest of it. You know, I just don't want to have to dedicate all those funds just to that. So it probably is better that they didn't go that route. But still, you know, it would have been good to have it change up a bit. It is really, I mean, the way stalkers do really change the game. I mean, I really don't know why people are talking about the way. Here's my biggest thing. Wild Riders pump out lots of attacks, right? There's no, what's this, Magikarp? No. Anyway, they have lots of attacks. However, they have to get there, and that's the problem, is that while you're waiting for this, people are just shooting your Wild Riders, and they just can't do what you wanted them to do. The Stalkers, what they can do is just from range say, hey, I'm just going to kill your characters. You know, they don't need to engage. You can just keep your distance and kill whatever you need to kill. Oh, okay, there's no characters I need to kill? Okay, I'll just go for double shot and kill off chaff and get points that way, right? They're just always going to be doing work for you. So, I mean, to me, that's what people should be raving about. Not Wild Riders. That's why people bring this up. I think people just like hearing me raving about them. Otherwise, because they always do the same thing. They bring up Wild Riders. I have my say, and then they call me stupid. Shh, shut up. And then the very next time, they'll be like, hey, Malorian, what do you think about Wild Riders? And I'll say again, being naked and on a horse running around is a bad idea. No, Malorian, you're stupid. And it repeats and repeats and repeats. Meanwhile, I was starting to, in the last tournament I was at, I didn't get to play fantasy because I was running an event, but I got to talk to my old fantasy buddies, some of them being mainly Wood Elf players, and some of them were saying that the Stalkers aren't really working out as great for them as they thought, which I don't really understand, but they say that you'd actually need to take lots of them. I mean, to me, I'd be taking 2 every single time, and that should be enough to get done anything you need. But according to them, you really have to go above this. Like, you'd be like, oh, if you're going stalkers, you got to take like 6 of these guys. And that just seems to be way, way too many. Too big of an investment. You know, so that for the times, well, it's also the points, right? If you have all your points in these few characters, you don't want to do that. If you just have a couple, that's not too much of an investment. Oh, I forgot how many stupid little details are on these guys.
You just said that they were simple.
I know, and they are simple. I mean, really, I could take this guy now and just use him, but I want to finish him, too.
He's not based yet.
I need a new paper. Shut up! What are you even doing? You're putting little ink on little pieces of paper. What's it even supposed to be?
I'm making leaves. Shut up.
Oh, leaves.
You're just jealous because you're not as awesome as I am.
Why are you even on my channel?
Creative department. Because you have been begging me.
Yeah.
Please, Mrs. Malorian, just do a cameo.
Well, we're supposed to be on here convincing you to play.
No.
Trying to figure out what's going to be the solution. What's the army that's going to pull you in?
No.
Keep telling her. You know, how nice would it be? You know, there's a big tournament off in the States, right? Let's say if I want to go to Adepticon or something like that. If I want to go by myself, that's just, yeah, there's no way I can justify the cost. But if it's like us together, it's almost like a family vacation. It's a wife and husband getaway.
And what are we supposed to do? Just put our kids in Rubbermaid bins and store them in the garage till we get
We
back?
both have parents.
Yeah, well, you can't assume that the parents are just going to take our hooligans.
I will assume whatever I wish.
Our children are maniacal.
Who are you to say what I assume?
Your daughter is a psychopath.
Whoa. She gets it from her mother.
True. That's why we can't leave her alone with your parents. All the time. Once in a while is okay, but not all the time.
So we can go to tournaments now and then, just not all the time?
Sure, if there's a scrapbooking event at the same time.
All right, guys. There's your next homework. Find me a tournament that has also a scrapbooking thing going on at the same time.
In the same city.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's my way to really make sure I can do brawlers all the time. I gotta talk to Mrs. OnceBitten. I don't know. I didn't even know what her hobbies are. It'd be pretty damn handy if she actually was a scrapbooker as well. To get you women folk together. You can do your thing, we'll do our thing. Huh?
And then you can fall asleep to my voice as I tell you how spectacular my event was.
That is pretty boring. That's a real difference too, right? I mean, I don't get it when we get back from our things, like whether she's off at some scrapbooking event or I'm coming back from a tournament. I'm coming back saying, oh yeah, you know, there was this crazy army with this crazy conversion. Take a look at this. You see how it's built and how well it was painted. And she's like, hey, somebody had a new stamp.
You're an ass.
You wouldn't believe it. I mean, sure, I already have like 50 stamps that look like flowers with like 2 leaves, but this one, the leaf was like the other way.
Hey, my events are totally catered. My events are like till midnight each night. My events have people bring stores to the events.
So?
Now, here's a gift certificate. Come to my store someday.
No. The good tournaments, the ones I'm trying to bring you to, the ones that actually have like their license and everything. So they'll be catered, and you can begin whatever you want there. Big prize money. All these are possibilities. All you have to do is start playing.
No.
What if I gave you my wood elves?
No, I spent $120 on my last scrapbooking event, and I ended up bringing home like $100 worth of products, new products that I didn't have yet. So when you can beat that
Have you ever won a trophy?
trophy, you mean the one that you gave to your children last time you won one?
Yeah, so. See, I have so many trophies, I can now give them away to my kids.
Yeah. Your daughter takes them to school, cherished stuffed animals instead of, Daddy's tournament trophies go as show and tell instead of stuffed animals.
Seems like how it should be.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised you don't bring my stuff to show and tell.
Or bring it to golf.
Hmm?
Oh, you didn't notice anything was missing. Never mind.
You still have to get your crap out of my room so I can play my games again.
No. The more you complain, the longer it'll stay.
I think while that stuff is in my office, and you are not allowing me to do my regular hobby things, you can have zero complaints about any other hobby thing I want to do. I could be having a hobby night every single night. Because truly, until you have the time to go in there and deal with that stuff, you're busy anyway.
Yes, it is nice having your assistants dealing with all the crap in our house. Greatly appreciated.
Welcome to Bickercast. I won't invite her again, don't worry.
Oh, meow meow. You mean you won't beg me for 3 weeks to be on your channel?
Well, you still have to be on the wife one. They wanted to get all the wives of the YouTubers. So you still have that one to do.
Sorry, you just banned me from your channel.
It's not on my channel. Oh! That's the problem, dear. Can't keep up. So hopefully your stuff has come along here. We're getting close now to the end of the Paintisode. I am slowly getting to the end. However, my stupid messed up brush means I have a lot of touch-ups I need to do still. My black being dead isn't helping either. But yeah, another thing I was going to talk about was terrain. When it comes to terrain, it seems a lot of times I like having a lot more. I like having terrain that forces you to modify the way that you have to play. I don't like terrain being like, oh yeah, we got these hills and forests which functionally do almost nothing and you can just go ahead and do whatever you want. I like having things like, this is impassable. You have to go around it. And the problem is it seems that when I'm doing this with a lot of other people, that that value just isn't really shared by a lot of other people. It seems like it's a lot more common for people to say like, oh, we want a little bit of terrain, well, little bits of terrain that could be give you a little bit of a benefit, but nothing that's really going to be huge. So again, maybe it's something where there's a wall. So really, sure, you could set up and defend the wall and get a little bit of a bonus, but more often than not, it's going to do next to nothing. And, oh no. Just a second. Drop my paint. But, you know, for the most part, I mean, I just see that as a waste, right? You just might as well be playing on a completely open board. And, I mean, it can go the other way. I am still not a fan of the way that rivers are done currently in Fantasy. I feel those are a little bit too large. But that's definitely something me and I have two different groups that I'm kind of dealing with this at the same time. One of them is with my War Machine group, with Groosh Monkey being part of that. And there's always a wonder, especially because a lot of times I host the games and I'm putting out the terrain. I always am trying to make sure I'm not giving an advantage somewhere. And then with this fantasy campaign as well, because if you're doing a fantasy campaign off a map, I like trying to have those elements in there. That's why my last ball report, it's supposed to be around the mountains, so there's lots of impassable all over the place. Sure, I got kind of an advantage from that, but I see it more as me trying to make a map that terrain that matched the map and then basing a strategy around that as opposed to having a strategy and then designing the terrain to make it work. So, I don't know. How's your terrain for scrapbooking?
Awesome.
Awesome.
And painting leaves, man.
Can I use them on my guys? Can I,
Why?
like,
Don't they have clothing?
it can be like a little leaf over the groin. It'll be ironic because he's a robot.
Here, something artistic for you.
What do you guys think? Regular robot or regular robot with a leaf over his dinky?
Do robots have dinkies?
They do.
What are they used for?
Expelling fluids.
What fluids?
Coolant. And
You have no knowledge of anything.
I don't even know how cars work. I go in, I push buttons. Eventually the police bring me to where I need to go.
Sad. That's so true.
Yeah. I'm a hazard to everyone.
You know, you joke, but
But there's a reason why I'm inside right now. I'm surprised not to see more comments here. We do have fewer viewers than we did last time. I guess more people wanted to see Ransom. The handsome Ransom. Is that it? I'm just not handsome enough for you guys. So I need to bring the girls back on.
for the sexy party.
Mm-hmm. So, for my model, I think I've painted everything. I just have to do the wash on it now, and that's going to be it. There's a few more little touch-ups I could do, but honestly, I just don't care. I am not really the strongest painter, and if I have a few little mess-ups where a little lick of paint went where it wasn't supposed to go, that's the least of my problems.
Amen, brother.
One of the things I'm also glad to see is kind of taking off is I did the little painting tail, and a lot of people jumping on that. That's for locally for War Machine. But again, I think I talked about this last time, but it's one of the funny things I still see is that when you ask for painting in a tournament, people get aggressive if you demand them to have painting. And they say, like, oh, you can't make me paint, it's not in the rules. But still, if you go and say, like, hey, who wants to do a painting tale? We'll paint a bunch a month. They have no problem joining that. And that just doesn't make any sense to me. Well, I think if you have no problem painting, then why in the world would you care about painting in a tournament? But
It's about the have to.
it's the stubbornness.
If you didn't have to do it, you'd enjoy it. If you do have to do it, you don't enjoy it.
I have to say, if there was, though, no tournament requirement to have painted models ever, I would have not even gotten into painting. I mean, the only reason why I started painting my GW Necrons was because I had to. You know, I could have been perfectly content just to leave it the way it was and play it plastic. So maybe there is something to be said, right? If nothing else, having that little requirement at least gets you starting painting. And I mean, once I started, I realized, oh, I mean, I don't have to. It's the whole 80-20 rule, right? I mean, sure, I could spend hours and hours and hours on one model and make a little mini masterpiece, or I could just spend an hour. And it's like, bam, models done. Let's play. You know. So I guess there is something to be said for that. Overall, would you say I'm an okay painter?
Me?
Yeah.
I'd say I was better.
Oh.
You sold everything I painted.
I did not. That is lies and slander.
What'd you keep?
I kept the giants and I kept the orc.
Oh. The orc?
Yeah.
You sold my forgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she used to do painting, but...
That was my army. You originally collected that army for me, so that we could play Necrons and orcs.
And when's the last time you played?
1963.
Exactly. So, if you're upset and you want to paint another army,
No,
all you need to do is tell me which fantasy army you like.
busy.
Or War Machine.
Got enough projects.
But not enough good projects.
Lots of good projects.
Let's put it this way. I am painting Thorn, the robot, and you're making little leaves.
These leaves are going to be spectacular. I'm going to post them on Lizzie's Workshop Facebook page when I'm done with the project.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Everyone's
You're just going to shoehorn in that little shout out to your channel?
I'm advertising, man. Because they're going to
Don't go there. She'll ban you.
They'll see how spectacular the leaves are, man, and go, hey, scrapbooking's awesome.
So if you too believe you should have leaves covering the groins of your models, head on over to Lizzie's Workshop, and she'll promptly ban you.
I won't ban them. I just ban you because you comment and leave stupid responses of, oh, your husband is so awesome, isn't he?
To be fair, I am really awesome.
Yeah, 92%.
92% what?
From the quiz.
Oh, right, yeah. She took a little, like, Cosmos quiz, and apparently I'm 92% awesome.
As a husband.
Well, and in general.
As a husband.
In general.
As a husband.
So, I am done painting. He's... Not, of course, again, this is on Google+, so the Hangout, so it's going to be crappy quality. We can see he's basically the same thing as the other guy. He has a few little differences to him, but the main thing is that he is done. You know, it's one of these things where here's a model that I'm only ever going to use with this one caster, which I guess to put into perspective in fantasy, let's say the only time you would ever take a Ragnarok is whenever you had a goblin shaman on Spider. And that was the only time you could take an Ragnarok, is if you had that goblin shaman on Spider. And so it's like, well, again, how much time do I want to spend on a model like this that I probably will not be using all the time? I mean, it's not like, you know, my Black Orcs, they come out all the time. The Savage Orc Biggins, they come out all the time. So, you know, for me, I took a little bit more extra care with them. But this guy, like I said, yeah. But anyway, there you go. A tentative thank you for Mrs. Malorian for sitting by and giving her wonderful side commentary.
Gallery.
Something like that. Would have been nice to have more comments, but then again, I think I got to start doing this as a routine in the future. I got to find some day that, like every Monday or every something, this is Paintisode day, and then we'll be used to it. And it's just like the Warhammer Weekly, right? Have it so it's a set time every single week. Still got to figure that out, see when we want that to be. But we'll figure something out. And either way, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.